So we're here with Lucas today.
How you doing?
Doing pretty well, Lucas. Doing pretty well.
Thank you for having me, man.
We're sitting here talking about pool openings because obviously this weather's kind of turning a little bit. It's jumped around on us some, but kind of looks like we're getting to the point to where we're going to have some sustained weather here.
It flipped around in like 2 days.
I know.
With the weekend temperatures where they're at.
Why is it always like this, though? That's what I don't understand. It always happens like this. It's never like a gradual change. You know what I mean?
It's because it's the Midwest weather,
I
man.
guess, yeah.
We're just that lucky, Nate.
I guess.
Snow one day and then sunshine the next.
Yeah.
Luke, I think I've actually got a picture of you, and I'm going to have to look back to see if I can find it, but I've got a picture of you standing at a pool in Windstone with your test kit and a pole in your hand, and it's freaking snowing, and it's May Day.
Oh, really?
It's May 1st.
Yeah, it was May 1st.
And there's like 4 inches of snow on the pool deck, and we're out opening pools.
No shot.
It just happened. I mean, it wasn't like that in the morning. It just kind of snuck up on us, that storm that day.
I think I would have been sick that day.
I can't remember. I think I was down at my cousin's wedding, actually in Dallas. So I wasn't there that day, but yeah, Lucas had sent me a couple pictures. I think I've got one of Todd too, actually.
I've done some with snow on the ground, but nothing like that. You said how much? Like 3 inches?
No, yeah, it was considerable.
Yeah,
it
nothing
was
like
3-4 inches of snow. I had my full snow gear on, you know.
Yeah.
And it was a full-on, like, wet and heavy snow, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Auto cover
like
pool.
fun.
Yes.
Cover was open. You could see the pool, you know. It's all thawed out.
But yeah, no, so, now this year here we're, once again, weather's kind of changing and turning. And one of the big things that we like to talk about with our customers, especially our customers that have mesh covers, is to really be thinking about opening that pool sooner rather than later. Because as this temperature warms up, it's going to allow for algae growth, bacteria growth, etc., and just make those openings that much more difficult the longer you wait.
That much more.
Well, I mean, of course, if you think about those mesh covers allowing the sunlight to come through like they do, they're gonna warm up the water temperatures a little bit faster. And when we're seeing 85-degree weekends, and that's kind of a scare for me, because I'm thinking that our customers aren't going to be prepared for the water change that they're going to see real quickly this year.
It's very rapid. That's what I'm saying. It's very quick.
But with what we're seeing right now, I predict more algae growth in pools that wait until May. If we're open in April, you'll be okay. But when we get to May, that's going to be a kind of a fun month, I think, for everyone.
It always is normally.
So any of our listeners out there that have mesh covers, give us a call. Let us get you in the schedule a little bit sooner. And just because we get your pool open doesn't mean you have to heat it. And colder water is a lot easier to turn around than warm water.
100%.
Oh, and it's going to filter. Most of it's just filtration time, honestly. Just getting that sand filter up and running. It's going to pull particles out of that water. It's going to clear up everything for you. You don't even need much chemical at all this time of the year.
Nope.
If you're okay with running your electric bill, for an extra couple of weeks in comparison to the amount of potential chemical that you may have to put in your pool later if you were to wait, it just doesn't weigh out to me personally. I would rather have my pump running earlier and pay for that than the amount of unknown chemicals that
you're going to need to turn it over.
You just don't know.
Exactly.
No, I agree with that 100%. And one thing we could touch on too, I think we're doing ourselves a disservice if we don't. And we're going to kind of have a fun video coming out about it here within the next week or so. But a few things to really keep in mind before we even show up to your door is checking your hose bibs. Making sure that you didn't have any pipes break during the year or anything like that. Because when we come and hook a hose up to it, we don't know what's necessarily going on behind the wall or in the basement of your home.
It's not like that's ever happened before.
Boy, I can tell you, I know more than anybody knows. I've had a lot of firsthand experience in that world where I didn't know better. I just went to your house to open up your pool, and I hooked up a garden hose and turned it on, and I didn't realize you had 3 inches of water in your basement
I've
because
even
nobody checked the spigot before we got there.
I've done some where they're home, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
started opening the pool, and they called me inside into the basement.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But I mean that's one of those
Well-
small little things that you can do to help us ensure that you have a smooth and orderly opening.
Mm-hmm.
And alongside of that too, making sure you got power to the outlets outside.
Yes.
You know, those are
Yes.
two things that we need to do. We need to have to effectively open your pool, and that is we need to have good water pressure and we need to have electrical.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ultimately, it comes down to cost, and this is good for our customer because we're trying to, be as efficient as possible. And if you can go through this little checklist and just kind of check off a few things before we get there, you're going to be that much better off yourself. So we're just trying to help you guys.
I couldn't agree more, Luke. I mean, that's all we want. We don't want to have those mishaps or anything happen. I mean, that frustrates us just as much as it does the homeowner. So,
Mhm.
Big time.
Help me help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We understand that you have, your obligations and your commitments to family and stuff like that. We also have our obligation and commitments to our customers to get them all opened. And long story short, we're just trying to be efficient in all aspects. And we want our customers to be educated about what they need to do too, and that way we can all just be that much better of a team together.
So, Luke, we were talking a lot, there on mesh covers, but a lot of what we talked about can, go across the board with all of our customers, whether they're, an in-ground auto cover, in-ground mesh, or even our above-ground customers. Those are all things that people need to be thinking about. But one specific item I want to touch on, when we dive into auto covers, is the fact that those ropes can sometimes get chewed throughout the winter by rodents, mice, etc. So one of our first checks when we get to the property is we actually take that lid off and inspect the ropes and inspect the cover. There's been instances where rodents have actually got in there and chewed the fabric almost off of the drum.
Yes. Yep.
And other instances where they chew the rope right where it goes around the rope reel into the track because they're able to sit on top of that drum and
just kind of
go to town on it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's a difference between just normal age, wear and tear, and pesky rodents getting in there. So when it comes to customers with auto covers, there's a few extra things on your checklist for your pool opening that I would consider before we dive into the season, to say.
I agree. And the biggest thing being the ropes. And, if you're having us come out to open up the pool, part of our service is, we take that lid off, we inspect the drum, inspect the ropes, we clean out that pit, and then we get your auto cover cleaned, get it rolled back, and then we start in on the pool. So, the good first hour that we're on your property, we're just focusing on that auto cover.
It's 100%. The
Yeah.
first hour is definitely dedicated to the cover itself.
So we just, there may be, customers that we got out there that do open their own pools and more power to you. Just biggest thing we ask is check those ropes before you run that cover, because it's a lot more cost effective for us to change out ropes with the cover shut.
Or even just wait for us. If you think there might be
Yeah.
a chance of anything happening, just wait for us to show up and we'll take care of it for you.
Literally.
And another thing that we always check through sliders, because that can immediately, your sliders are shot, you might just break your ropes. And that's what I check most of the time. It's and most people don't know about that or really how to inspect them. So
Right.
yeah.
No, I think it's a good idea to kind of get familiar with your sliders. And actually, I even recommend if you have an auto cover, we got to replace those things every year. You're going to have regular wear and tear on your sliders. Why are we trying to push out multiple years on something that when it fails, it costs a lot of extra things? We've got broken ropes and all kinds of other stuff that could happen. So why don't we just preemptively swap out sliders?
It's like changing your oil.
After getting your pool opening done, to have us come out and replace your sliders.
And actually, that's a great point, Luke. And that's one thing that CoverStar actually suggests for their customers that, once you get through the opening season, get to that middle point of the summer, and have your service provider come out and actually run a check on your auto cover to ensure that everything's working properly. Make sure that the sliders are good, because the sliders could have been good at the opening, but you might have ran that cover 30, 40 times, and in that 30, 40 times, that slider has worn down now and is on the brink of breaking off the track. And I've seen it in an instance where the slider's broken off the track and slid across the liner, and it didn't tear it, but it marked it up pretty good, and it marked it to the point to where we couldn't get it out.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
So, maybe, scheduling that kind of mid-season check on your cover system, because your cover system is completely separate of the pool. It's a whole nother entity, and it's a whole nother thing that needs to be checked once in a while. We use CoverStar cover systems, and one thing with their ropes is they are a true power flex rope. So when those ropes are getting pulled on back at the reels, they are actually stretching. They're made to stretch. So then you get closed, and that stretch releases back in that rope. So then you get a little bit of drawback on that leading edge bar sometimes. And I wouldn't say quite an inch, but you do end up with a little gap sometimes. And then other times, it's the smaller pools, the covers work a little bit better because they don't have as much drag and stretch to be pulling on those ropes.
Yeah.
You get into a 20 by 55, you're going to see a little bit more of that.
Exactly.
So, but the other thing is CoverStar is, I think they're the only cover company that actually warranties their ropes for 2 years. And that's warranted against breaks or premature overstretching. It does not cover rodent damage.
No, unfortunately.
It was funny. There was one year I was out opening a pool, kind of helping to speed things along. We had a couple auto cover pools that were right next to each other, and so I went to one and opened up the lid and saw a rope chewed right away, and I was like, shit. So finished taking the lid off, get the lid out. This rabbit jumps out, literally runs next door, jumps into the next auto cover pit that I was going to next. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
I've had that happen to me in Whinstone.
Yeah, that was out in the dunes for me, I think.
Yeah, it happened to me in Whinstone. And I removed the rabbit.
Oh, you did?
It was some rabbits. It was a family of them.
Oh, jeez.
A mom and a couple of babies. But yeah, we had to get them out of the pit there.
But it is such a nice place for them to go. So if they can get in there, man, they squeeze their little bodies in there, and
they need to be warm. They're trying to be warm too. It's cold outside,
I know.
That's what happens.
I know that not every style is necessarily able to accept one of these little inserts that we have found put in, but I feel like they have helped.
Oh, they definitely have helped.
Because last year, yes, of course, we still got quite a few service calls in regards to broken ropes from rodent damage and stuff like that, but it felt like it was less.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely did.
In years in the past, there was times where, oh my goodness, another call today, did we even open a pool today? Or did we just go around and realize everybody's got broken ropes?
Broken ropes, yeah.
All right, so we've kind of touched on mesh covers. We've touched on auto covers. I think the last we need to talk about are probably our above grounds.
I actually, for our above ground customers out there, I definitely have some advice for you for this year to kind of get things up and going a little bit smoother than maybe years past if you've struggled. And the biggest thing is most of our pools are covered. And we got to get that debris and water off the top of the covers before we open them up. It's an above ground pool, so when we're kind of, talking about putting one in, we're also talking about how you can do the opening and closing yourself. So a lot of our customers are going to be on their own doing their pool openings, and of course we're here to help you if you need it. Making sure that when you remove that cover, you don't get that debris in your pool. It's a whole other world of a pool opening real quick. If you allow that to happen, even a couple gallons of crappy water can make a real mess in a pool.
I've never done that.
I'm gonna have to say that's a lie. Well, and it's happened to me too. I mean, There was an instance I was opening an above ground pool, and I was getting all the debris and water to one side, and I'm realizing, I'm like, God, it seems like I'm losing water, but I haven't put the pump on yet. I didn't realize there was a tear underneath that side, so I was pushing everything to the tear
That
when it
can
was all
happen,
going into
yeah.
the pool. So when I pulled that cover back, it was like, oh my gosh,
And
this
then
thing was blue and clean.
And that's probably the biggest struggle that people, go through with their above ground pools is do I cover it? If I cover it, then I have to deal with that. And if I don't cover it, well, then it's just open, it gets dirty, and I got to deal with that. And it's a dirty job, guys.
It
It is.
Too many times I'd had to kind of peel back that cover just a little bit just to drop that pump back down in there for that last little bit that's down in there. And, it's a patience game and not it's not for everybody. That's for sure.
It's like watching paint dry
Yeah.
at times.
It's
I made the mistake of when I first started working here, I would it'd be super hot and we'd be doing those later openings like you were talking about where the water's turned already. And I used to wear all white so the sun would reflect off of me and I wouldn't absorb the heat. And then by the end of the day, I'm green now.
I was
I'm
just
not
gonna
white.
say.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry. So not to reminisce too much, I'm going to go back on a story here because it was Luke and and I mean, I think I'm going back to probably like 2010.
Okay.
And Luke and I had been out opening pools all day.
Back when you guys were just some young guns.
When we were just the young guns, yep. We were just the young guns running around. But it was he and I, and oh God, we had open pools all day. I think we had knocked out 4 at that point, and we had a 5th, and it was a mesh cover, and it was over on the Floyd golf course. And he and I were driving around after our last stop, and it's like, well, do you want to do it? And look at the time, and it's like 7:45, and
In that little backyard
yes,
on the golf course.
yes, there was no place to pull the cover in the backyard. You had to pull it out to the street. But what we ended up doing is we stopped at Blimpie's out in Morningside. It's Subway now.
Yep. Now I totally remember.
But
I do remember that.
yeah.
It was,
We stopped at Blimpie's. We were like, well, let's get some food and we'll make the decision. So then we ate, and it's like, yeah, I got one more in me. And then we go there to do it. And of course, everything goes wrong. The motor wouldn't work for the pump.
Mistake.
we couldn't.
We couldn't get half the lugs down. Had to pull them out. Had to drag the cover to the front yard to get it clean.
at
The
this point,
pool
it's
was so bad.
It's probably dark at this point, right?
Yeah, it was about there.
Yeah.
I've done an opening before, and it was in the dunes too. And I remember I think it was me, KP, and then who was with us? I don't know, maybe Tom, I think. And we were
Okay.
out there at 8:30, I think, and we had flashlights out, phone lights out, and then I think some of us had headlamps.
Headlamps, yeah. Yep,
And
yep.
but I was like, dude, I feel like I'm not supposed to be in this backyard right now.
Have you ever cleaned a swimming pool with the pool light?
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Like having to turn the pool light
Uh-huh.
on
Yeah,
Oh,
so you
yeah.
can-
to clean
yeah.
the pool.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
Oh, fun.
Too many times.
Yeah.
No, that was a really unique pool opening. I remember
was.
that. But we did that kind of thing pretty regularly, where we just kept going, man.
Hmm. I would kind of look to Luke like, do we keep going? And he's looking at me like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm game. There weren't too many times that it was like, do we do that extra stop or not?
At the end,
There weren't too many times that we ever said, no, let's push it. It was always, let's just get it done because we know we got more tomorrow.
yeah, and it was the same thing every day. And the more we could get done, the more efficient we could be. It's just the way we were, and that's the way I am, and you are, and you are, and that's what's important is that we push to just keep going.
Well, and that's what's nice about the group of guys that we got right now is that everyone that's with us now kind of has that same mentality of, we're here to now. Let's get it done and let's do it right. I wish I had a calendar in front of me right now, so I could talk about our chemical sale coming up. But
It's always the last full week in April.
and this year we're doing something kind of different for it too, actually. So what is our
The 24th is that Friday, actually.
So the 24th.
April 20th.
So the 25th though, that Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna do something kind of fun. Actually, we're going to partner up with some of the car clubs in town, and we're gonna work with Eric Reyes over at Hamilton Touchless, and he's okayed it with the people at Advance Auto Parts. But we're going to have a car show and line up cars between Advance, Hamilton Touchless, and over at our shop. And we're going to have a big car show and get some people to come in through the doors. And I think we're going to have a food truck or two that are going to come. So
April 25th.
yeah,
All
What
right.
day? What
It's
that's
Saturday.
that's a Saturday.
But our chemical
Yep.
sale will start that week, that Monday on
Yep.
April 20th.
Okay.
yep. But if you're a antique or classic car enthusiast, definitely plan to come down the 25th and check out the cars that we're going to have there. Not only our office and shop, but next door at Hamilton Touchless and Advanced Auto Parts.
And
And
then
if-
stop into the store and say hi to us. We've got our hot tubs to look at and saunas and other things too for non-pool swimming people out there, but classic car people maybe instead.
Yeah.
Hey, let me test drive your car, and I'll let you test out a hot tub. How about that?
There you go.
There we go. There we go. We can offer free test runs in the hot tubs.
There we go.
We'll be there till 3 o'clock, 9 to 3 on the 25th of April.
So yeah, so definitely mark that in your calendars and plan to be there. But well, Luke, I appreciate you coming on and talking with us today.
Anytime, bud. We're just pooling around.
Yeah.
And with that said, I guess I'll just remind everyone that for all your Fun in the Sun products, remember to stop in and see us here at Professional Pool and Spa, where we take care of everything, and all that you have to do is just add water.